Yeah, I got issues. What's up guys, welcome to the Brewski. Welcome to another video. Today we're working on this new 2002 WRX, new to me. We already have a 2006, we needed a 2002. And we're just gonna collect these things. The reason I have this car is the motor's actually blown up. I'm not sure if it actually is. We're gonna take a look at it, kind of diagnose it, see what we can figure out, and see if we can just get this thing back on the road so we can just drive it. Because these 2002 WRXs, in my opinion, are the best year. This car has been sitting since probably 2014. That's the last service date records. That's the last registration this car had. And it's completely flat. I turned the key, nothing. So first things first, pop the hood, take a look underneath it, check out this rusty, crusty, disgusting engine bay. So obviously this engine bay needs a little bit of work. Before I even try to start it, before I crank it over, before I do anything, I'm gonna grab my vacuum and my air compressor, and I'm just gonna clean out this entire engine bay. Now that that's all cleaned up, ready to go, now we're gonna look at the motor, we're gonna check the oil, we're gonna check the coolant and see if there's anything in there. If there is, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to crank over the engine by hand, and if it does crank over by hand, I'm just gonna try and start it up. I know it's not the smart thing to do since the car's been sitting, but I already know that I'm gonna be pulling this motor out and at least redoing the head gaskets, if not rebuilding the heads. Maybe even just putting a whole new swap. I don't know. We'll see. Well, let's jump into that right now. These battery terminals are just completely shot. The actual positive one broke off completely. So I'm just gonna quickly replace these and then try and start this thing. After cranking it over for a couple of seconds, the battery is completely dead. That battery is just toast. The jumper box did a good job. I mean, it's turned the motor over. I can definitely hear that there's low compression in the motor. I'm gonna go ahead and yank out all the spark plugs, put a compression tester, and see what we got. I just pulled out all the spark plugs and I got to the point where I can get this compression tester on. I'm not even gonna compression test it. I'm not gonna waste my time because I just learned something. Right here on the back of the timing cover, yeah, it's all broken. That and the weak startup that I felt where it kind of didn't feel like it had compression, I'm gonna go on a huge guess and say that this bent all the valves, or at least some of the valves, and it has no compression. So I'm gonna stop with all this nonsense of messing around with it, and I'm just gonna yank this motor out. We got pretty much all of it off as far as like accessories go. Basically all that we have left is all the belt drive system. That's all gonna stay in the car. The turbo is disconnected from the downpipe. I'm actually gonna go on the bottom, take the downpipe off. Everything else is pretty much disconnected. Now it's just the bolts on the back of the engine and the two engine mounts on the bottom. And the engine should just come right out. Basically I got everything disconnected. All that's left is to connect the cherry picker and yank the motor out. I've been looking at this engine for the past, I don't know, 15 minutes, kind of just staring through everything. Took the timing covers, looked at the belts, since it did grind off here in the back. I don't know why. And then also right here, it seems like it kind of messed up a little bit. We're gonna go ahead. I'm not even gonna waste my time with this motor. I'm not gonna tear it down. I'm not gonna try and fix it. I'm not gonna try and put new head gaskets in it and headsets because I might introduce a little more power to the car. And I'm not taking the chances with this junk. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of this, and I'm gonna find a new engine tonight or tomorrow as soon as I possibly can and start piecing it together because I don't wanna spend money on a crust bucket. In theory, I could tear this engine apart and probably get the heads fixed and use the block, but knowing that this engine wasn't original to the car and the mileage that the car shows, I don't wanna use this. I'm gonna get like a 50,000 mile motor and put all this stuff on there and make that one perfect. Put a new timing belt, water pump, etc., new clutch. Just get it, you know, get it running nice and get it running perfect. I don't want to have to redo this entire process because I wanted to be cheap and pay $100 to get the heads fixed and slap it together and hope it works. No, I want this car to be really somewhat reliable. I mean, we're really gonna thrash on it quite a bit, so I'd really like to have it, you know, somewhat ready for that.